back from the dead. But who am I to blame? That's a shame. Back of your head, I'm picking at your brain. Watch your aim. What you doing on your off time? What you doing when you offline? Back from the dead. But who am I to blame? That's a shame. Back of your head, I'm picking at your brain. Watch the aim. What you doing on your off time? What you doing when you offline?
What's good? It's your boy Wtby Rap Dice. We had Off Here TV where barber and cosmetology meets the culture. Gonna be interviewing Dwayne Pittman of Waterbury Strong and Waterbury NAACP. You know the vibes. Good, Dwayne?
What's on, Brody?
Good to see you, bro. I appreciate you pulling up today.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, we got Dwayne Pittman of NAACP, Waterbury NAACP, and Waterbury Strong. He about to cut up head with Bob. I mean, everybody gives him a name, though. What's his name, bro?
I think I'm going to call him Toby.
Toby it is. All right, but I actually cut his hair. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show him how to do a high taper and, you know, cut the beard off. Show him how to give him a haircut that I usually give him. Before we do that, let him introduce himself.
So my name is Dwayne Pittman, Vice President of Waterbury Strong, Vice President of the Greater Waterbury NAACP. You can catch me at Dwayne Pittman Jr. on Facebook, Mr. President CT on Instagram and Twitter. There's a story behind that one, but we're going to say that for later.
Cool. Alright, so let's get you in the cut, man. Let's get you cut. Alright. You see we got the Babyliss Pros. Shout out to Babyliss. So I'm gonna let him hit it with a 4. Cut him up a little bit. We gonna get right. We're gonna get straight into it.
Mind you told me these was like Jordans.
Those is like Jordans, baby.
Fresh out the box.
Fresh out the box.
Alright, so where we going?
Against the grain. You gonna come here and my baby's gonna get stuck up in there.
Yeah. So over here kind of rough.
Yeah. So yeah, bro. So what is it that you do?
That's an interesting question to answer. I just advocate for our people, man. Honestly, like, you know, I try to train, advocate, lead by example. You know, there's a lot of people that say they're gonna do stuff and don't come through. So I'm the type of person I say, why not me? You know, so
okay.
That's really me.
Word. I could appreciate that. I like that. So you and a few people created Waterbury Strong, correct?
Yeah. So Waterbury Strong was made last year after the George Floyd situation. Okay. And this Tyler McGrath, he actually ran for mayor a few years ago, and honestly, it was his vision. Okay. And he brought us together in a collective, and we all was doing our own things, but separately. Mm-hmm. So he was like, why not do it together? Why not have a non-profit of people that are doing, you know, the same stuff, but have different talents and just put them together? Word. So, you know, and that's where it was really formed. It was like, he had ran for mayor, and we was going off that, and I was his campaign manager. And it's kind of like we just trusted in each other.
I do remember that. Ty, he was running for mayor. That was dope. That was dope.
He was trying to get me to do that. Listen, you know, I got a family first. And I need some time, but you know, it all worked out, honestly.
Definitely. Okay. So what is it that you do with NAACP?
I serve as the first vice president. And with the NAACP, I had the reason why we formed Waterbury Strong was basically to be the opposite of the NAACP. Okay. In a way of meaning, like, you know, the NAACP is a organization 112 years old. Facts. So it's the longest African American organization to today. So, but basically, there's a lot of protocols that goes into that because it's just not just me and you putting something together. It's a whole national organization.
Yeah.
So it was like the things that I felt like sometimes they wouldn't, I don't want to say not touch, but had to be more cautious because people sue the NAACP. They know the NAACP has money, you know. So and part of Waterbury Strong was like being that voice for people that didn't have a voice. So with the NAACP, my grandfather was a member, and he passed away 2 years ago. So
let me take Toby's glasses off.
Yeah,
you see. Yeah.
Now I know how you feel when I got my earpods in. My grandfather was in the NAACP, and he had passed away 2 years ago, and it was kind of like I wanted to do something to build on to his legacy. So that's where the NAACP came in, and I actually started doing some research on the NAACP, and they were the strong lead of a lot of changes back in the 60s and the 70s.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know, for an organization to be around that long, it's like, you know, why not build onto that? And with Waterbury Strong and NAACP, it's like building a bridge instead of building barriers because we're not, you know, the hardest thing is getting people to work together.
I like the way you put that, and not just Waterbury, but everywhere. You know what I'm saying? We need that as, you know, African Americans. We need more togetherness. You know what I'm saying? We need to be more together as we once were. You know, supporting each other as far as education, as far as business. You know, before we all grew up on, it takes a village to grow. It takes a village to teach somebody how to do certain things in life. And I like that you have done that with Waterbury, and we're expecting not just Waterbury but other towns to come more together. The black community, the African American community, not even just the not just the African American community, but also other minority. You know, so it's I definitely appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Well, I was going to ask you what made you want to do this, but you definitely answered that fast. So I've been doing my research and everything like that, and reading up on things. Now I heard that you were actually a part of the incident that had happened in Naugatuck with the police chief.
Yes.
So how did that go?
So we had got some inside information that there was some posts about some racial comments that were made by not only the police chief's daughter of Naugatuck, but the mother and the wife of the police chief. She's also the assistant principal for the Naugatuck High School.
Oh.
So the daughter went on, had sent some stuff to her friend at the time, privately, and was just saying, like, you know, her father could now basically has the power to shoot more black people on Snapchat. This was 2 years ago. And then the post, you know, something happened. Posts were posted by the friend, and everybody saw them, and, you know, it got directed towards us, the NAACP. And, you know, it's our job to make sure that we protect the civil rights of all people. And people don't realize that we do serve all people. So we had to jump on it. You know, and what we do is we investigate. So we went into investigations, and it was just crazy to the point where, you know, things like this are still being said at this time. So, you know, one, it's hurtful. Two, you got to think about it. There's only but so many black kids that live in Naugatuck, black families in Naugatuck.
That's a fact.
There's 0 black teachers in Naugatuck. There's only 4 policemen in Naugatuck that are black.
Naugatuck's not that small. I'm not that big. You could throw a football through there.
Nah, it's not. Yeah. But there's no leadership of except for the police commission when it comes to color. So the mayor, all his people, there's no black leadership there. So who are the black people supposed to feel comfortable to when we're talking about people in Naugatuck? And who are the students supposed to feel comfortable talking to if there's no one like them in the schools? If there's no one them on the police department, you know? So we're still investigating. Like, I can't say too much of the investigation because it's still pending, but it got real. It definitely got real because, you know, people really sit here and make excuses for it. Like, you know, she's a child. I understand, you know, kids make mistakes, but
those words are very piercing.
You know what you're saying when you say something like that.
Yeah, and honestly, what was she in high school? Was she in high school or?
She was in middle school at the time.
Okay.
But still, like, and I'm not trying to, you know, say the girl should be, you know, treated any differently than anybody else. But we have to understand that, you know, she knew what she was saying. And where does this behavior come from? When we're taught as, I have a son, Jeremiah. Now, if he goes up there and says something crazy about killing white people, they're gonna be like, "Where did he get that from?" Exactly. He probably got it from home. And
that's a fact.
You know, obviously
it starts at home.
Yeah, obviously they're saying, you know, that's not where it came from. So my thought was, well, is that a culture at school out there? Is that a culture of what's going on in the school? Do the kids at Naugatuck High School talk like that? And, you know, everyone is good until they're caught. And you don't ever say anything you don't mean unless you're comfortable in your surroundings. She was comfortable enough to sit here and say
that's a fact.
This, and it was in the comfort of her own home. You don't ever see anybody. I'm not gonna come up here and say something crazy because I know I'm on camera.
Yeah.
But if I'm in my car driving by myself, I can say whatever I want. Ain't nobody listening to me. Let's be real.
That's a fact.
Until you get caught. You know, so.
That's a very steep situation because I know, you know, if it was on the other hand, you know, shoe was on the other foot, an African American kid was to say that, and then they went out. There's been so much bigotry and racism, and you know what I'm saying. That's the thing. Like some things are so one-sided.
And that's the thing too is, that's what we were really trying to fight and see what that was, because your father's the police chief.
Yeah, exactly.
Your mother's the assistant principal.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care what city you're in. You got some pull.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Not only that, if there are, you know, we're gonna say minority. We're not even gonna say, you know, African Americans. If there is minority in the high school, and you have your daughter that's being racist, and you're the vice principal?
Basically assistant principal.
Assistant principal. You would hope that's not going down in the school, you know.
Exactly. And how are these students supposed to trust? How is the community supposed to trust the police chief now?
Exactly.
How is the student supposed to trust the assistant principal? It's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be a hard task for them to really come back together. But at the time, it's like you have to show unity more than anything else.
Facts.
You know, and honestly, like I say here for the city of Waterbury, if you're not fighting for the right things, then you don't need to be in the seat that you're in. And that's a straight up fact. Like that's on the people of the city though. You know, the city of the people. People don't understand the power that we really have. Because people say, "Oh, things are never going to change. Things are never going to change." No, they're not going to change. You keep sitting there doing nothing.
And if we don't make the change, we don't get up, stand up.
For real.
You know, we gotta stand up, man. We gotta stand up for ourselves, and that's what I've been preaching myself, but not preaching, but just you know, letting it be known and telling a lot of people that I'm close with, like, we gotta stand up together. We gotta come together to let things be seen and known. Like the Black Lives Matter movement, you know, that was a great movement. That was a great movement, but what are they doing now? What noise are they making now? I feel like it should have been
an alright movement. And the reason why I say alright is because it got tampered with. You know, its original meaning of what it was supposed to be, I don't feel is. And it depends. It's like same thing with the NAACP. They have branches. Like there's a Black Lives Matter in New Haven, which is doing wonderful work. but there could be a Black Lives Matter somewhere else doing total opposite things of what they're supposed to be doing. So it brings the name down.
Facts.
But like New Haven, they just honored a whole bunch of wonderful women for Women's History Month. But if you have another, Black Lives Matter who are looting, destroying property, and it's crazy because some of the properties are owned by people that's the same color as them, and they're not even realizing that. So
we're gonna come against the grain on this one. Let's come up.
I know how you feel. Not like let me tell you something. If I ever look at you when you cut my hair, I know how you feel. Like, so I feel like Holy just staring at me.
That's why we have this podcast. That's why we have this going on. You know what I'm saying? To give y'all the chance to get behind the chair. But yeah, back to what you were saying about the Black Lives Matter movement. I didn't know that, our people were looting our own people's businesses. And that's the thing, like they want us to do that. I don't care. They want us to black on black crime, black on black looting, like that's what they want us. They want us to tear each other down, and we need to stop doing that as the Black community. We have to stop doing that, and that's why I support you a lot, and I appreciate what you're doing.
Not only that, we gotta stop. We gotta stop letting them be the basically not. I don't want to say dictate, but they run the narrative.
Exactly.
So they control the narrative. So if you go on the media and you see 100 black people, but not seeing that there's 200 white people out there doing the same thing, the focus is on us.
Exactly.
So it makes it seem like we're the ones that's doing all the looting. We're flipping over cars.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're burning buildings and stuff like that. But they ain't showing everybody else that's doing the same stuff.
Like the White House, for instance.
Exactly.
Come on now, like that was...
When the Black Lives Matter movement came, they was already on the steps.
Exactly. You're right.
When I watched that in Washington, what happened in the Capitol, I seen them helping people down the stairs after leaving. I seen police officers helping women down the stairs, making sure they was okay after they was infiltrated our Capitol building. Our Capitol building. And what does that show? What does that show other countries? How easy it is to really get into something that's ours. Our Capitol building. It wasn't like we infiltrated Waterbury City Hall.
Yeah.
They infiltrated the Capitol, our state's capital.
Mm-hmm.
So, like that to me, it hurt. It hurt because we all know if that was us,
Body count would have been crazy.
It would have been a different story. Let's just say that, and we all know that. We all know it would have been a different story.
Man.
Shoot, take Waterbury for instance. Last year we had the biggest protest ever in Waterbury. 28 people got arrested. Some pulled off the sidewalks.
That's a fact.
Some, but just because they were in the street, defending their rights to protest.
Mm-hmm. Now you were at a few rallies that we had out here. What was the rally that you were in and the picture that you had in this picture? That was
Juneteenth. So
okay.
We celebrated Juneteenth. That was actually Waterbury Strong's first event, and we had March to Green. We had speakers. We had poetry. We had everything that comes along with our culture. And at City Hall, we listed our we had listed some demands. And there's a video with Tupac when he says, you knock on the door, you're begging, please, feed me. Then you get to the point where you knock harder, you're yelling. Exactly. Now you get to the point where you're picking the door, you're picking the lock, you coming in, So it's only so many times you can keep asking for stuff until you're either gonna quit or you're gonna demand it.
Exactly.
So we made some demands.
You gotta speak up for your voice to be heard.
They wasn't feeling us, but they heard us.
Exactly.
And that's the thing is, we can't stay silent and complacent if we feel like something is going on that we don't believe in. Just like we fought for that Columbus statue.
Oh yeah, that was powerful right there, man. Speak about that, please. So
in Waterbury, just like a lot of other cities, we have fought for the removal of the Christopher Columbus statue. Some places got it taken down. Ours was put on as a referendum. So basically, when you vote for the president, that question was on the ballot.
Yep.
But if you really do the math, even if every single black person voted, including men, women, and child, it still wouldn't have been enough to beat if only adults voted of the white culture. So, you tell me what you think. If I could sit here and say, and give it to the people, knowing that Waterbury is only 15% black, and knowing that the voter turnout for black people aren't as high, it's going to stay. So you get to take care of your people, and your people who support you financially get to stay intact and be happy with their statue. As we know, after that happened, the statue's head got taken off.
That's a fact.
Literally. And, I saw people categorize this young man. And, I don't condone, obviously I'm not condoning vandalism, but I'm saying to you, this is what happens when people feel like they're not heard. People take other measures. And
exactly.
That's what happened. But I seen people go on that post and be like, oh, we should take his head off. Oh, we should hang him. Oh, we should do him just like he did the statue.
What?
Bang his head with a hammer. So, tell me how you really feel. You care about that statue so much that you want the same thing that was done to that statue to actually happen to a human being. But when we march and we protest, we're wrong.
Exactly.
I seen women stand toe to toe with this group of motorcycle gang from Waterbury that were defending the statue.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I seen that video also. And
we were there for our own rally, our own speaking. They were speakers there, and I told our people, I said, don't pay them no mind. They can't do anything to change the situation. They can't do anything to change the fact that the statue's there. They're here to make you upset, to put you out of character. And then I pointed to the camera at the media because there was a whole bunch of news cameras out there, and they were pointing their cameras on this one black lady who was in the person's face, neglected to do the information and find out what he said to her to make her feel the way she was feeling.
Yeah.
So I pointed to the camera and I said, do you see what they're doing? I said, they pointing the camera at us to make us look like we the ones that's crazy right now. And as soon as I said that, all cameras came down.
Wow.
And they stopped recording. Because I knew.
Wow.
That's how they play.
Like, and that's the thing, it's like we always have to put a cap on our mouths. Like, so we have to have a filter on our mouths. You know what I'm saying? Certain things we can say, certain things that we can bring up. Which is not, it's not equal, it's not fair at all.
It's not, and you gotta think about it, we're from a different cloth. Things weren't as sensitive as they were now. There's certain things you just can't say.
Facts.
You can't even be a comedian no more and not say something with people trying to cancel you or something.
That's a fact.
So just overall, like, I gotta watch everything I say. And I'm not that I would say anything crazy, but there's also that time where words take over, feelings take over. Sometimes you can't help that you feel some type of way, especially when you feel like you're the one that's being oppressed against. You're gonna have feelings towards it.
Doubt and everything like that. So you actually had an event called Speak Up, Stand Up, Make a Difference, Stand Out. Now, how did that event come about?
It was pastor of a church. He wanted to put an event together. He was tired of all the crime, all the violence against each other. So he wanted to put an event to get people together. So he had to ask me to speak. And that's honestly what we need. We need pastors to step up.
Definitely.
We need the church to step up. If you really think about it, think about the 60s and the 70s. The church was involved in everything. Think of our leaders back then. Reverend Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Both religious men, different beliefs, but Everybody was out there. Preachers were out there. You think about our leaders that, you know, I ain't gonna lie, some of these leaders that be around today I really don't agree with, but they are all generated from what? The church. And think about it. How many times have you heard Graham say, oh, the pastor said this. Pastor's right. I'm going to follow my pastor. I'm going to do what pastor said.
Still says that, you know what I'm saying?
So think about how much power they really do have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But definitely. It's crazy because you think about it, just as much as there's separation amongst people, there's separations among the church.
That's a fact. Dropping stuff.
And, you know, that separation needs to stop. We need to come together because at the end of the day, we're both here really fighting for the same thing, for the same causes. Mm-hmm. It's just we got different ways of doing it.
Facts.
And, you know, everybody wants to be a chief. You know, everybody wants to be everybody wants to be the man in charge, but it's kind of like...
You have to have that...
Not only you got to have that will to do it, because I tell you, I don't get paid for this. Let's say that first. Okay. I don't get paid for what I do. So, you know, you really got to want the change. You really got to want better for your people. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that, like, obviously... With Waterbury Strong, we receive grants and things like that. So I'm not saying that one day I probably won't be able to just focus on that and that be the way the way that I live.
Yeah.
But right now, basically, this is like grind season. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. We all know grind season.
If you're not gonna get through the grind season, then you ain't gonna make it at all. But when it comes to, like, when I say churches and other organizations, it's like we're all doing different things. But imagine if we all came together. Imagine if all the Baptist church threw an event together, which they've done that, and I'm proud for them to start doing that. But it's taken time, you know, because like I said, everybody wants to be the top. Everybody wants to have the top church. Everybody wants to have the biggest platform, you know. But at the end of the day, like,
you need to come together.
We need to come together. And I always say, people, you know, always kind of be like, Dwayne, you bugging when you say this. Because I say, like, just because I'm the person that can sit in the boardroom, don't mean I can't work with the person who's on the street. Don't mean I can't work with the person who's a barber. Don't mean I can't work with the person who owns a restaurant. Don't mean I can't work with the person who owns a grocery store. Because at the end of the day, if we're all going to work together, we all have different talents. Like, I'm messing Toby up right now. But I'm sure you have the talent to fix this.
We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. We're going to get it right. So, yeah, what I'm about to do, we're going to do a high taper. I'm going to just direct him, show him how to do it. Get my clippers clean, you feel me? So, high taper is... Start with the 0. And what I have right here, I got my steps right here. Got my guards lined up. So 0. Come over here, G. And you have steps here. Boom, boom. See, with the babblers, they help you out. You feel me? They help you out with the steps. So you go 0, boom. Next step, boom. Next step, boom. Last one, boom. And then here, start open, then close. Same thing. Open, close, and just go down. But I'm gonna get this going. Usually I start with the 1 open first. Just to get your bolt, start off a little line. Alright. You can pay attention while I'm talking to you, right?
Yes, sir.
Alright. So yeah, let's talk about this picture that we have here.
Alright, so the picture is me and my son and the newly appointed deputy chief of the city of Waterbury Police Department.
Okay.
So the reason for that picture was I had met Deputy Chief Ferrucci back last year around Juneteenth when we did our event. He basically was our guy we went to, the officer we went to for our permits and everything so we could do the march and everything for Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically just kept a relationship with him, you know. There was a rally, like I had mentioned earlier, of the Rack Pack that came, the biker gang that came. And it was crazy because we have all this separation between the community and the police department, but that was a time where we actually came together, where he was trying to control the situation of the Rat Pack, and I was talking to our people like, listen, we're here for a message. Let's not pay them no mind.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pay attention to the message because they can't do nothing for us.
Word.
So, you know, after that, we just kept building a relationship. So this past year, I had did with the NAACP, we did our first event, and it was a Martin Luther King event. We did a march and rally to Martin Luther King Park. So again, I had went through him to get the permits.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, around COVID and things like that, you know, he worked with me. So I had to go down there and sign the permit, so I brought my son with me because he wanted to go to the police station. I'm like, I never met a kid. You know, I never grew up wanting to go to the police station. So when he said he wanted to go, I was like, oh, okay. So brought him down to the police station with me, and we ended up staying almost like an hour, just talking to Officer Ferrucci and talking to one of his co-workers and just building. Basically, it was crazy how it just happened. So my son had a dress-up day for school. Dress what you want to be when you grow up. So he's like, Dad, I want to be a detective. So I'm like, what made you want to be a detective? Like, and all the things, you know, you want to be a detective now. And he said, well, we went to go see Officer Ferrucci. And it was only that one conversation. So I had told Officer Ferrucci, I said, you know, I just want to let you know, it's crazy how such a small thing could make a big difference in a kid's life. And I explained to him that, you know, because of his encounter with, Jeremiah's encounter with him, he wants to be a detective. So, that's, you know, dope. He's like, oh, that's amazing. That made my day, you know. So a few months later, we look in the paper and Officer Ferrucci is up for promotion for deputy chief, which is the second in charge of the police department in Waterbury, Connecticut. Okay. So I'm like, oh, that's great. So, you know, I pick up Jeremiah in the morning. I'm like, Jeremiah, look, who's this? He's like, that's Officer Dan. And I said, yeah. And he's like, can we go to the police station and see him? So I'm like, you know, I don't think we could just go there because of COVID. So I'll text him and tell him that, you know, I want to give him a call. Yeah. So before I could actually text him, he texts me. And he was like, hey, Dwayne, how's it going? I was like, you know, I'm good. He was like, you know, I'm getting promoted. And I said, yeah, me and Jeremiah saw it in the paper. Congratulations. I was like, I was going to actually call you because Jeremiah wanted to tell you congratulations. And he was like, oh, that's crazy because my promotion's tonight at City Hall, and I want to invite you and Jeremiah to be there because I want you guys to be there. That's dope. So we went to the promotion ceremony, and you know he got to see Officer Ferrucci. We took a picture. He got to meet the mayor, and what's crazy is while we were there, you know, a majority of the police department was there because you know this is a big thing for the police department, and it's crazy because. My son said, Dad, he said, where are all the black cops? And I said, I know some of them, and some of them are here. I said, but, I mean, this is, what you see is basically what we got. And he said, that's another reason why I want to be an officer. I want to be a detective. He said, because if we're talking, yeah, he was like, we're talking, and this is not his words. He said, if we're talking about racism, and people see all white cops, what are they going to think? And I said, that's a perfect reason to be an officer. Wow. And it's crazy because, you know, kids grow up, what do they want to be? They want to be basketball players, football players, entertainers of some sort. So for him to say that he wants to be a detective and actually do the work, it makes me feel like I'm doing the right job. Doing the right job, bro. I gotta dap you up for that one, man. You're doing the right thing. At the end of the day, you know, when it comes to our kids, we want them to fulfill their destiny. You know, and it's a big thing I really feel like it's a big thing for us as men, especially black men, not to just say what to do, but actually do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for us to sit here and say, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that, but when they see you doing it, like when I see you here with DJ and you up here, you cutting, he's seeing that my dad is working. He's seeing my dad's providing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what our kids need to see. They need to see us out here doing positive things. You doing a whole podcast now. You know, so I know you're here to interview me, but let me salute you.
I appreciate it.
Because at the end of the day, this is what our kids need. They need positive feedback. And technology is the way of the future.
Especially right now.
You know what I'm saying? Look at this setup. You got cameramen, you got lights, and this is all things that we're going to need for our future. Because my daughter's 2 years old. She knows how to operate my phone. She can get on my phone. She'll say, Dad, and put my phone to my face. Because she knows my face unlocks my phone.
My son did the same thing, man. He's doing stuff that I ain't even see. Like, he showed me one thing. I was like, wait, how'd you do that? Oh, like this, Daddy. I said, oh, man.
And that's why I say, like, especially with us, our kids coming up, it's important for them to see us working together so they will do the same thing when they get older.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. We really got to start leading by an example. I said to you earlier, you know, it's more than just a hashtag or just a like or a share on Facebook. You have to really sit down and want to do the work. You got to. And I'm not saying, you know, everyone has to be out there and do what I'm doing, but everything that anything can do could help the cause.
That's
you know,
a fact.
If you sit here and you know you have a platform, what did you say when we first started this? Dwayne, let's bring you up here so maybe this could broaden the platform.
Yep. And get people connected, get people to get actually out here and support our events. Yeah. You know, that's what we need as a black community. We need to come together Waterbury strong. Not just Waterbury, but across the globe, across the United States. We all need to come together.
And it's funny you say that because we're doing Waterbury strong. There's a Bridgeport strong, and they're doing beautiful things out there.
Word.
And they hit up TY and they're like, yo, can we use the name? I'm like, they're like, yeah, you can use the name. You're doing it for the right cause.
The right cause, yeah.
So we got Milford strong, Waterbury strong, Bridgeport strong,
that's dope.
Norwalk strong.
That's dope.
And
shout out to all the strong communities. We appreciate y'all. Shout out to all the strong communities. Well appreciated.
The idea is to get all of us together because we're all fighting the same fight pretty much, just in different cities. You know, we're all fighting suppression. We're all fighting police brutality, unfortunately. Like I said, you know, 28 people got arrested. 18 of them were females at that protest. 2 of them were children. You see one child get slammed into a police car. So we're all fighting for the same stuff. So at the end of the day, like I said, it's really getting people involved. And like I said, I mean everybody across the board. I mean, if I know someone, and I hate when people judge, because just because a person did something 5-10 years ago, the movement that was started at that rally made people want to do other things.
Facts.
And I'm going to name drop one person.
Facts. Because
he comes in this barbershop a lot. Savage, that's my man.
Savage. He definitely does his thing, man.
You know what I'm saying? Savage is out there. He's advocating. He's protesting. He's willing to talk. He's going to meetings. And it's like, but he's supposed to be a street kid.
It doesn't matter.
It does, exactly. So that's when I say when people be like, oh, well, he's not the right fit, or we need to start being discriminative towards ourselves.
Exactly, because what happens is we're gonna relate how Jesus spoke to people, to prostitutes. He spoke to people that were poor. He spoke to the rich man, and that's the thing. We need to go out into the streets, and that's what Savage he kind of remind me of. Like he goes out into the streets and he talks to the people that's in the street, because you have people that's behind the table, people that are in offices, whatever, that don't really know how to connect with us like he can.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I gotta get you in here next, Savage. I'm gonna be hitting your email, bro. I'm gonna get you in here next.
Yeah. Honestly, because with that, it's kind of like you think of people that felt some type of way when you're like, oh, this is not professional hair. If you got dreads, it's not professional hair.
Exactly.
But my thing is if we say, oh, he used to be on the street selling drugs, So he can't be in our circle. But now he's not doing that no more. So it's like, who gives us the right? If a white person can't judge me because of my dreads, if a person, everyone deserves a chance.
Everyone.
So if we're sitting here asking for a second chance from when our people are incarcerated and looking for a job, what are we saying? They deserve a second chance.
Exactly.
So a person on the street who now wants to make change and join the movement, they deserve that second chance just like everybody else.
Exactly. I like the way you put that, bro. I definitely like the way you put that. So I'm gonna I'll let you guys see what I just did right now. Like I said, I did a quick high taper. So now I'm gonna have Dwayne do the other side, and we're gonna keep chatting. Let you take
my line. You gotta do my line.
Let you take a quick look. High taper. I'm gonna create the line for him, so we get right.
I feel like he's staring at me.
He's like, yo, don't do me dirty, yo. Don't do me dirty.
Stop moving. You see, he just moved.
Yeah. Don't do me dirty. We got you, Toby. We got you, Toby.
Toby looking more like a Brian now.
Yo. Alright. So we're gonna let you get right now, buddy. So I got these steps right here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring them over to you. Yes, sir. So like I was saying,
so we go small to big?
Exactly. What you wanna do is
he don't know, but his barber time for me is when I get my piece.
That's a fact.
Cause I'll be on the go all the time.
So yeah, basically you already started with the so you're gonna start with the one. With the guard open. With the lever open.
Alright.
And then close it. So like you're going down steps. Boom. So yeah, other than Waterbury Strong, NAACP, what do you do off here? What are your hobbies?
Spend time with my children first.
Definitely family man.
I got 2 beautiful children. I bowl.
All the way close.
All the way close. Oh yeah. You're right. I bowl. I'm a big time bowler.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good.
Pretty good.
Average like 220, 225.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a
but that's like
now.
honestly, that's like a side hustle too, cause shoot, you can make some money doing that.
Definitely.
I'm gonna reach. That's why I said the Waterbury Strong. I mean the
Actually, you can start with this open.
The
with no guard.
With no guard.
Yeah. And you're gonna just come here and then make your way down. So you put to the middle lever, second to the last lever, and then close.
So, I said my Instagram name was Mr. President CT. I used to be a promoter.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But honestly, with that gave me a platform. You know, a lot of the people that like I could reach out to Cool Face. You know, it's funny because I had an event the last week, and Cool Face was like, "Yo," he was like, "All right, I'm gonna ask you something." I'm like, "All right, what you gonna ask?" He's like, "You need Cool Face price? You need Cool Face price?" Or you need, and he calls me real nigga Dwayne. So he was like, you need real nigga Dwayne price. And I said, I need that price. And, you know, he hooked me up, you know, and that's something that I could say, like, people look out for me when it comes to certain events. Like, you would think, like, people that promote, they're like, oh, nah, they ain't gonna do nothing. But I was a promoter back 2011, and I just stopped in 2019, but I've always done this work even before. It was just, you know, you feel like you can't sit here and, you know, promote certain events and be an advocate for your community. But you really think about it, we got people that steal money every day and then still get hired for certain jobs.
That's a fact.
And within the state, you know? So it's kind of like, nope.
Hey, man, you tried, man. That's what it's all about. It's about the try.
He gonna have to wear a headband or something for a little while.
You have to wear his headband to the side.
But nah, yeah, I promote parties. Honestly, I like to ball still. I go out to the hoop. That's where like I get a lot of my, cause I'm a thinker. So I'm a type of person where if I need just freedom, I go to a basketball court, just me and myself, and just shoot. And I get all my thoughts together because honestly, it's crazy. I only sleep like four hours a night.
I'm the same way, man.
I be up thinking I do my best work at night.
Me too.
But my logic is tomorrow's not promised. So how are we gonna know when our time is coming? We don't. Okay. So I have to do everything I can now while I'm here on this earth because I'm not guaranteed tomorrow.
Exactly.
Don't get me wrong, it's good to have 5-year plans and things like that. But if you don't, if you're going that route, you have to always live in the now because, like I said, tomorrow's not promised.
Have any events or anything like that coming up that you want to let the people know and want them to get involved in?
We're gonna have our annual. We're gonna make it an annual for Waterbury Strong to Juneteenth event in June. And what we're gonna do with that is actually you could be a part of that. When I think about it. I said it. We're gonna do have vendors and have like a community swap for black businesses, and we're gonna do
that's dope.
We're gonna do a march. We're gonna have a parade. Plan to have a parade this year. So
Juneteenth parade.
The Juneteenth parade.
Woo! Okay, I'm actually looking forward to that.
And we're gonna do it at Hamilton Park. This time we did it last time we went to Martin Luther King Park. Because the north side is normally is our side.
It's our side.
And this time we're gonna do it at Hamilton Park. It's because it's a bigger space. Then we could just march down from the mall, and like I said, have vendors, food trucks, performers, just everything that is our culture. Have speakers, different musicians and things like that come out. And also Ty, I gotta shout out Ty, because he's about to do something like a field day. He's calling it I think it's called Unit Connect, basically Unity in Connecticut.
Okay.
And he's gonna it's gonna be like a kickball tournament with vendors and food trucks and things like that.
That's dope,
I love our people love food.
Facts.
Free food.
Free food.
So yeah, the last event is I gotta shout out Dame Saunders out of Waterbury. He's doing events where he's coaching and training young men and women.
Shout out to Cuzzo.
Yeah, how to play the game of basketball. And he's had some trouble with getting certain recs. So we just gonna say that here that we're not having that no more. And all the salsa leagues that happen at the South End Rec, if there's something that needs to happen at the North End Rec, let it happen.
Exactly.
We just gonna leave it
equality, man. We need equality. Equality. All right, man. Let me see what we looking like. All right. Okay. Back taper real high. Alright, well at least it matches this one.
I'm saying it's even though.
Word.
See, I can't see the backs when you do it, so that's my excuse.
It's about to say. Well, word, man. We're gonna get you autographing this. What's his name this time? Because he had like 4 names already. He was Toby first.
Toby.
Then he was Greg. And now he
was Jerry. Then he was Brian.
No, he was Jerry.
Yeah,
now he's Brian. Word. Well, we're gonna get you autograph on that. Man, Put some tats on them too. NAACP and Waterbury strong. Word.
We need better markers. Marker red.
Redhead. So we're gonna get you autograph on this right here. Off here T.
I'm the second autograph.
Yep.
We gotta have this. We ain't supposed to be doing promotion, but we need a Sharpie.
We're gonna get a Sharpie next time. Cameraman, we need a Sharpie next time.
I need some water.
Cool.
So y'all know I was second.
G, number 2. Got you. Word. This is Off Air TV. Well, barbering and cosmetology meets the culture. It's Dwayne Pittman. You can follow us on Off Air TV, Instagram, Off Air TV, and Facebook. Please follow us, subscribe, Off Air TV, YouTube. I'm Wtby Rap Dice. You can follow me on Instagram, Wtby Rap Dice, Facebook, Wtby Rap Dice, YouTube, Wtby Rap Dice, and we out. You know the vibes.
See, that's why people be mad. You ain't getting behind the ear.
Back from the dead.